What's good, everybody? Today we're going to look at this JEFLIKE half horsepower drain water pond swimming pool pump. Use it in a water barrel to drain your pool, pond, to create fountains or water features. Stay tuned for the whole video. What's good, everybody? So there's a few reasons why you'd want a sump pump, a water pump like this. If you have little waterfalls like the ones we built right there. So there is a pump underneath those rocks. There is a cement basin. That water is fed from underneath through this pipe and into this waterfall that comes out in the front. Another reason why you may want to get a water pump is if you have eaves troughs, they're going into water barrels and you're collecting rainwater to maybe water your garden. And you need to stick a water pump inside the barrel, attach a hose, that hose is connected to a sprayer, and then you have basically free water to water your veggies and your garden. And the final reason is if you have a swim spot or a hot tub and you want to drain it in the beginning of the season or at the end of the season, you are going to have some water left over. You'll put the water pump on the bottom and then that would pull the water out and you'd be able to have a nice clean tub before you refill it with new water. Of course, if you're draining it, the same reason, you throw the pump inside here and then you drain some of the waters. In addition, if there is a big rainfall, what you're going to find is that the water will come around the spot. We are going to place the water pump right here at the very bottom, and we are going to be controlling it with a Wi-Fi switch so we can turn this on and off. This is going to be connected to a hose that is going to be right here, and underneath is just ground, and then that's where the water is going to drain. But this pump has a half horsepower motor, 3,500 gallons per hour, which is absolutely huge. The head of delivery is 27 feet. That is important because we are about 10-11 feet up from here, so the water is going to have to elevate. So you do have to have a strong pump that's going to lift the water from underneath and be able to lift the water up from the ground up at least 10 feet, and this one does 27. If you want a smaller pump, a third of a horsepower JEFLIKE, we've also done a review on that, and it's strong enough to manage a fountain or drain some basins or small ponds. So we did do a video review on that one as well. But let's focus on our half horsepower pump. You do get a connector on here. This is a standard 3/4 inch garden hose adapter. You also get an additional 1 inch NPT and a 1 inch and 1/4. The pump is 10 inches tall by 5 inches wide. Quite a lot of cord here. You have an auto and manual switch that you can adjust on your own. So this pump has a floating switch, so it senses how much water there is and whether the pump should turn on or off automatically. That's when you turn on the auto mode. In manual mode, the pump is always on no matter what happens with the water level. So if you have this pump outside on the bottom of your spa and set it on auto, and then when there's too much water, the pump will automatically turn itself on and start draining the water until the floating switch decides that it's at a proper depth, and it will turn off the pump automatically. At the bottom, you're going to notice that the suction is actually occurring right here at the very bottom. The water is also being pulled in through these little holes. You essentially need only an 1/8 inch of water and it's going to pull it. Some of the other pumps, you're going to find that the water is only going to start being pulled in when there's 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Everything else is going to be left over, which is not the ideal situation for something like this, because if you have water and it's only like 1 inch, you definitely want to make sure that it is pulled out. And let's go and put this at the bottom here. We have 3 inches of water, as you can see. Press the M switch and that's going to turn it on. And right away you can see that the water is slowly being pumped up. All right, okay. So it goes to about here. Now let's go see what this looks like when you're actually using it as in a barrel, see how much pressure you can actually get. Standard water connector is right over top. You just drop this inside the barrel, and that's gonna just go to the bottom. Once it fills up with water, it's just gonna go to the bottom. There you go. There we go. It's still going. There we go. Now you can put this on here. Let's see how well it sprays. So this is how the water is performing out of the JEFLIKE half horsepower pump on a 100-foot hose. So the more horsepower, further the distance. So I would probably recommend like a 1.5 horsepower if you want a super strong spray for your garden. For any other purposes like draining water from pond to pond or even draining a pool, of course, 1.5 horsepower is going to pump out quite a lot more per hour. But for 90% of situations, I would say a half horsepower like the JEFLIKE that we've tested here is more than enough. The pump is able to collect the water from the most shallowest of depths like the 1/8 on the JEFLIKE. In any case, Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.